Hello and welcome everyone to Nightly Scroll. I'm Hayley Caronia. Thanks for spending your Friday evening with me. You might be watching on X or on Facebook. Welcome. If you're a new listener, welcome. Come on over to Rumble. Rumble.com/Hayley is where you can watch Nightly Scroll in full because you're only going to get a little teaser on X and on Facebook. So come on over. The water's fine. And of course, you can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. If you can't catch us live at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, totally get it. You can watch whenever you want on Rumble. And I do want to provide a little bit of a programming note. Vince is going to be off next week, and I'm going to be filling in for him in his hour on Monday and on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So you can catch me then. You can catch me on radio, and you can catch me, of course, for Nightly Scroll later on. So triple the fun, triple the Hayley. So just letting you know that. And of course, we've got a show on deck for you tonight that you're not going to want to miss. NYC and Florida real estate experts react to Mamdani's win. Even Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy may pull his company from the Democrat stronghold. Also, a heartbreaking moment in the UK where a World War II veteran says the country he's living in now wasn't worth fighting for, and why we should heed his warning here in the States. Also, voters in Bangor, Maine have elected a murderer. Guess what party she belongs to? I'll let you all guess, and I'll let you know the answer later in the show. It's an easy one. Plus, an elected official in New Hampshire, or a former elected official in New Hampshire, who happens to be trans, also happens to be a pedophile. So when will we start calling out the obvious connection between the two? Oh, and I have another update on the very aggressive fellow who identifies as a woman to enter the women's locker room at Gold's Gym. It turns out he is a wife beater, and it actually gets worse, if you can believe it. So all the details later. I've got some answers for some unidentified aerial phenomena seen across the states in tinfoil hat time. We've got scrolling time, blind reactions, questions. We're going to try to get to it all. So put your phones on Do Not Disturb. Nightly Scroll starts now. Up with JL Partners for an exclusive poll on Mamdani voters, and they found that 9% of New Yorkers would definitely leave the city. And New York has 8.5 million people in it, so that would be at least 765,000 New Yorkers who are going to pick up, pack their bags, and go elsewhere. And of course, these are people who say they would definitely leave the city, but who knows if they actually would. But that is the population equivalent to Washington, D.C., Las Vegas, or Seattle leaving New York. That is a massive. That is a huge amount of people. And to make matters worse, polling also found that more people would consider leaving. So you've got the 9% of New Yorkers who say they would definitely leave. Then you have the 25%, which is over 2 million, who would consider leaving. So if that many people do leave New York, it would be one of the biggest mass exoduses in American history. And a mass exodus of this scale will make a massive difference. An obvious side effect, of course, is the real estate market. Zohran Mamdani says he wants to freeze rent. He wants to tax white people and affluent people to pay for all of the freebies and other government-funded programs that he's promised. So when those people get up and leave, who will he tax? And the landlords will have no one to sell to or rent to, and it's going to leave a lot of vacancies. And real estate agents all over the place are reporting that their phones are ringing off the hook. People are already calling up agents in nice suburbs of New York City, Westchester, New York, Greenwich, Connecticut, and of course, these red state hotspots that a lot of people leave, these blue state strongholds or these blue cities. They moved to Texas, they moved to Tennessee, they moved to the Carolinas, and they moved to Florida, of course. I was one of them. Born and bred New Yorker, moved to Nashville, moved to Florida. They're talking about me. Is this play about us? So the people looking at staying in New York City are probably doing that because they have jobs that require them to commute into the city. And we saw a lot of this during COVID, where there are these massive skyscrapers in New York City, and basically everyone during the pandemic was told to work from home. So they did. And then slowly but surely over the last few years, some of these companies are realizing, well, golly, we're paying millions of dollars in rent and these skyscrapers are just empty and all of our workers are working from home. That doesn't make sense. So a lot of these companies are now forcing people to go back into the office, which sounds crazy, but it's true. I mean, honestly, if you can do your job from home, why commute? You save money. I mean, it makes sense for the employee. It doesn't make as much sense for the employer. So a lot of people who are moving out of the city, maybe they still have to come into the city. A lot of my friends who live in the suburbs of Manhattan and they still work in Manhattan, they're only required to come into the office 2 or 3 times a week. So, people can suck it up and say, all right, I'll commute an hour, I'll commute 2 hours because it's only a few days a week, right? So a lot of people are considering that. And moving out of the city would at least provide some solace from all the crime and stuff, but not much. Others just want to move as far away from New York City as humanly possible, which I can totally understand. The people moving to the Carolinas, Tennessee, Texas, Florida, they are moving to states with no state income tax, nice neighborhoods, good schools, less crime. So the Daily Mail did an article with a few of these real estate agents. This is exclusive. And they talked to Dina Goldentayer. She's a Douglas Elliman real estate agent. And she said this: most of the calls are from buyers. Many Wall Street execs are looking in the 20 million to 30 million range, specifically for waterfront houses or oceanfront condos. Certainly they're talking about maybe North Carolina and Florida here. But these are the types of people who make New York City a hub for business, and they will be taking their fat wallets somewhere else. And then Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports, he even talked about this before the election, but he said that he was considering pulling his very lucrative company and very popular network out of New York, and maybe they would go to New Jersey. Maybe they would look elsewhere. Listen to this. Jeez.
Can you please close New York office? Honestly, I've given that a lot of thought, and he's definitely going to win. Going to like Hoboken or like Jersey City or something, I don't want to fucking have an office. But then we have all those people who are like, that fucks up their life just because I hate the guy. Like all the people in the New York office now have to go to Jersey City or they got to go Hoboken. So it's a catch-22. I may close the New York office. Trust me, I've given a lot of thought. Because I can't stand the thought of Mamdani running fucking
Mamdani.
New York City. I can't stand it. But then a part of me is like, how much will actually change? But I really had given it thought. I told our like finance guy to start looking around for property. No joke. Take a principal stand.
Is Miss Peaches on his lap, or what is he doing?
Communist running New York City who's never had a job in his life.
I hope Miss Peaches is on his lap. I don't know what he was doing with his hand there. Fantasizing about moving his company to Hoboken, New Jersey. I doubt it. But the question is, if companies like Barstool and other financial institutions move out, who moves in? Who's going to move into those vacancies, right? I'm sure China is foaming at the mouth to get its hands on more New York State real estate. They've already bought up farmland elsewhere. They're setting up shop right next to our military bases. Our biggest adversaries will move in, and they hate America, and they hate our values. So when people see Mamdani, and Americans don't feel represented by him, but foreigners do, and illegal immigrants do, that will change the landscape. And in his victory speech, he spoke all about how New York is built by immigrants and now it's being run by immigrants. And the polls show that newer New Yorkers, people who have recently moved there, they voted for Mamdani. People who have lived in New York City for decades, they voted for Cuomo and Sliwa. Mamdani represents a new New York. A new New York that is going to have its economy decimated and will be riddled with crime. And it's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen. It'll be like a death by 1,000 paper cuts kind of thing where we see this slowly by slowly, little by little, it is going to devolve into chaos. And London's mayor, he was saying, kind of like boasting almost, that he's very similar to Zohran Mamdani. So let's take a look at what he had to say.
Well, there are many parallels that New York and London have, and there are many parallels that Zohra and I have. And congratulate the city of New York. They've chosen, in a bitterly contested election, hope over fear, unity over division, and I'm already experiencing the ripples of hope and happiness coming from his victory.
Hope and happiness. The London mayor, hope and happiness because New York elected someone just like him. Well, London doesn't look like London anymore. And unfortunately, women and girls are being raped by men who hate Western women and Western culture. It's a completely different culture. Muhammad is the most popular baby boy name in England and Wales. Let that sink in. That is the impact of an open border mixed with a liberal bleeding heart. Because nothing is wrong with immigration. So long as you are vetted, you apply for citizenship through the proper channels. I don't care where you're from. If you respect the culture of where you're going and you don't feel the need to change it, you are welcome. But we're not seeing that. That's not what is happening. People are fleeing their home countries, migrating legally and illegally, and they don't assimilate. They have no respect for the culture that they are entering or the laws because it doesn't fit their worldview. It doesn't fit their religious beliefs. So they just turn whatever country they move into the country that they came from. That is not a melting pot of cultures. That's a takeover. Immigrants are now dominating, and native UK citizens are becoming a minority. And on Remembrance Day in the UK, a British World War II veteran was asked about the country he fought for, and he doesn't recognize it anymore. Watch.
What does Remembrance Sunday mean for you? What is your message?
My message is, I can see in my mind's eye those rows and rows of white stones of all the hundreds of my friends and everybody else that gave their lives for what? The country of today. No, I'm sorry. The sacrifice wasn't worth the result that it is now.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
What do you mean by that, though?
What we fought for, and what we fought for was our freedom. We find that even now it's darn sight worse than what it was when I fought for it.
That is one of the most heartbreaking clips I have ever seen. Someone who was willing to lay his life down on the line for his country feels like it's not worth it. He doesn't like the country that England has become. And he's looking back on Remembrance Day of all of his friends that he fought with, and they died. And he says, that was not worth it. That's horrific. It's horrific, and it is so bleak, so sad. And this is why Poland has embraced strong borders. Here is Dominic, I think I'm pronouncing this correctly, Dominic Turczynski. He's an MP in the European Parliament, and he doesn't care if you call him racist. Watch this.
The Empire State has fallen.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, he was saying that he doesn't care that Poland has strong borders. People tell him all the time that, it's racist to feel that way. It's racist to be very strict with your immigration system. And he says no. Being strict and having strong borders keeps people in Poland safe. And then you look at what's happening in London, and you look at what's happening right here in the United States, and you have to think, I would rather be called racist than let my country fall. That is the playbook to follow. You don't have a country if you don't have borders. If you lay down and let migrants erase your culture, in just a few years, you are going to look around and you're not going to recognize where you live. But we do have some good news in New York. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik has thrown her hat in the ring, and she is going to run for governor. Watch this.
But from the ashes of Kathy Hochul's failed policies, New York will rise, like we always do. The spirit of the Empire State cannot be broken. All we need is a courageous leader, ready for the fight. Elise Stefanik will make New York affordable and safe.
So Elise Stefanik, of course, she is a friend of President Trump's. She is a fighter. She is a patriot. And Kathy Hochul felt very threatened by this announcement. So she wrote on X a few different posts saying that Elise Stefanik she's going to run to deliver New York for Donald Trump. She's going to raise your costs. She said, not on my watch, and that her message to Trump's top ally is to bring it on. Then she also said that, she's fighting like hell to lower costs for New York families. And Elise Stefanik is apparently screwing over New Yorkers and jacking up costs to please Trump. That's really not how that works. But she went on to say that Stefanik puts Trump first and New Yorkers last, claiming that New Yorkers are going to be paying more for utilities and health care under a Stefanik governorship. She's also blaming Trump's tariffs that impact New Yorkers no matter who the governor is. She's saying that, Trump's tariffs are going to affect New Yorkers more if Elise Stefanik is governor rather than tariffs impacting people now under Kathy Hochul. I don't understand that necessarily, but they're hanging on to this TDS thing to get Democrat voters excited and get them out to the polls because they won't be able to use Trump for that much longer. Taking a quick break to tell you about the sponsors for tonight's show. Let's talk about Beam. All right, folks, some breaking news. Beam's cyber sale is now open for early access for my listeners, and it is their best offer of the year. Right now, my listeners get up to 50% off with my code SCROLL. You can grab Dream for just $32.50. That breaks down to only $1.08 per night for the best sleep of your life. Go to shopbeam.com/scroll and use code SCROLL and don't miss out. This is the lowest price Dream has ever been sold anywhere, and it will likely sell out quickly. Dream is packed with ingredients your body actually needs to sleep: reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin, and yes, melatonin, but dosed intelligently, not like the drugstore garbage that knocks you out and leaves you groggy. So now is the time. Beam is giving my listeners the ultimate Patriot discount. Go to shopbeam.com/scroll and use code SCROLL and get up to 50% off during Beam's cyber sale. You can grab Dream for just $32.50, but here's the catch. Dream is only available at this price until it sells out. So seriously, think about it. How much would you pay for a truly great night of sleep? With Beam's cyber price, it is just, again, $1.08 per night. Go to shopbeam.com/scroll and try Beam today. It's this easy powder. You mix it in water. You get a little frother with it. It tastes like they've got the best flavors. I like a little sweet treat before I go to bed. I'm sure I'm not alone. They've got chocolate. They've got like a chocolate peanut butter flavor. They're both incredible. Those are the ones that I've tried, and I fell asleep like that. So again, shopbeam.com/scroll. Try Beam today. All right. Unfortunately, we have some uninformed voters in Maine. I hope these are uninformed voters. But in Bangor, Maine, a murderer was elected to city council. So a few years ago, Angela Walker and her brother were arrested in connection with the murder of a tourist. And that tourist was found dead on the beach. He was severely beaten and suffocated with sand. That's a horrible way to kill someone. And apparently this all happened. There was a scuffle between them because this guy, Derek Rogers, allegedly called Walker a derogatory term for Native American women. And now Angela Walker is Angela Humphrey. This is a maiden name type situation, but this happened before she was married. So I guess maybe that had something to do with it. She changed her name and then voters didn't associate her with her criminal past. But Angela Humphrey and her brother pleaded guilty to manslaughter in the case. She also pleaded guilty to perjury and was sentenced to 10 years in prison. And now Angela Walker has a seat on the Bangor, Maine City Council. This is crazy to me. Democrats will literally say that Republicans are ripping up the Constitution and our rights are going away and we're fascists who censor people. Meanwhile, Democrats will literally demonetize or deplatform you for speaking out against them, and they'll even kill you if you don't like what they're saying. But they'll call us fascist. And again, I'm not excusing calling someone a racist slur, but murdering them and suffocating them with sand and beating them to a pulp in response, and then being elected to office just a decade later? That is crazy. We have an uninformed voter epidemic. And I really, really, truly hope that these people didn't know that they were electing a murderer. But with the Democrat Party today, I would not be surprised if they knew and they liked it and they willingly voted one into office. Now, New Hampshire's first openly trans elected official just pleaded guilty to child exploitation. This is the left, guys. These candidates, they're killing me. I can't believe I'm even saying that. I can't believe that this is true. So back in 2023, this guy, who now goes by Stacey Marie Lawton, had a partnership with a woman named Lindsay Groves, and they were both indicted on 3 counts of sexual exploitation of children. And they, according to these charging documents, they had sent over 10,000 text messages back and forth that included the discussion of and transfer of explicit photographs of children. And the former elected official in New Hampshire was dating this woman, Lindsay Groves, who worked at a childcare center, a daycare center. So while she was working at this daycare center, she had taken photos of children, sexually explicit photos of these children. They were not clothed at the daycare center, being changed, what have you. And she took these explicit photos at the direction of this former New Hampshire elected official. It's crazy. And a charge like this could send you to prison for at least 15 years, but up to 30 years in prison. And, distribution of child pornography, that's another 5 to 20 years in prison. And this gentleman has just pleaded guilty. I mean, again, this guy resigned after all of this came to light. So voters didn't knowingly elect a pedophile in this case, but let's call this what it is. This is severe mental illness. And I'm not saying that all trans people are pedophiles, of course, but there are a lot of sick men. They're sick in the head and they identify as women because it is some kind of a fetish for them. It's not this feel good, I was just born in the wrong body and I'm living my truth. That's what they say. But for a lot of them, I think they're gay men or they are just mentally ill and they have a fetish. It gets them off to dress as women and get into women's spaces. They're sexually depraved. They're disturbed. And Democrats will blindly celebrate trans women in office like this person who is a pedophile. That's why I don't believe in these identity politics boxes. The first trans this, the first whatever that. I don't care. Let's make sure that the people we're electing are not pedophiles. It's disgusting. I also have an update on that gym story. What was it, a Crunch? No, it was a Gold's Gym. Gold's Gym in LA where they had a trans woman who was very aggressive towards females who were using the locker room. They got up in each other's faces and all this. And, he spoke out saying that he's just trans and he belongs in this locker room. And this had to happen to raise awareness about trans rights, of course. And this is a grown dude who just puts lip gloss on and goes to the gym, which, as I said yesterday, women don't wear lip gloss to the gym. They don't put on red lipstick and go to the gym. They just don't. But here is the update. Very concerning update. This trans person, accused of exposing himself in a woman's locker room, was convicted of brutally beating his ex-wife before taking her name. That is the crazy part. If the story wasn't already crazy enough. Insane. He was convicted of assaulting his ex-wife when he was living in Ohio, and he was living as a man. He used to go by Grant Freeman, and he was married to a woman named Alexis. So he changed his name to Alexis. Now he goes by Alexis Black. So he changed both names, used to go by Grant Freeman, beat his ex-wife, took her name, and is now using that name and red lipstick to get into the locker room at Gold's Gym in LA. And this sicko is protected because of California law. Obviously, this is a very violent man dressing as a woman to gain access to women's spaces. And when he is in those spaces, he's exposing himself and then he's being violent towards women. And this goes even deeper now, knowing his past with the ex-wife. He was probably extremely insecure and jealous of her to a point where he wanted to become her. Just like a weird mental thing. And he has literally taken her name and he's just angry and violent. And the left will say that Republicans hate women. Well, we're the only party standing up for them. And it's disgusting too, because we call out these policies that protect trans people, like in California. And the saddest part of this whole story is that the woman, the biological woman who called out this man for making her feel uncomfortable, she was the one who was banned from the gym. Not this violent individual, this former wife beater, but the woman who called him out. Sick. I can't think of a good transition from these trans stories to Michelle Obama. I just can't think of one. Just kidding. All right, here's Michelle Obama talking. She's complaining again. Listen to this.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really have that choice as first lady.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Every day, every time I was up, as we called it, I was up for the public.
Yes.
And the days were long. So as you mentioned, to save time.
Yes.
I know having a glam team, a trifecta, it feels like a luxury, but it was a time necessity.
Yes.
There's absolutely no way that I would be able to do my hair and makeup and have clothes that fit, because rare is the woman that can live off the rack.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, does anyone feel bad for her? This is the woman who has, since leaving the White House, she has complained that she had to buy her own food in the White House and it wasn't just free. She's complaining about doing her hair. She says that it's racist and the country's racist, so they wouldn't accept her natural hair, which is not true. But she has made this up in her head that she needed to do her hair and makeup in such a way. And now she's complaining that, it sounds like a luxury to have a glam team, but I had to get up like everybody else. I had to get up in the morning and I had to do my hair and I had to do my makeup and I had to buy clothes that fit my body. Ugh. Poor Michelle Obama. I'm gonna take out my little tiny violin and start playing it for her.
I'll tell you, I was cutting that video earlier and I didn't know what point she was trying to make until halfway through that 40-second clip. Like, she is just
rambling
on everything,
complaining. If it's not one thing, it's another thing. And it's like, okay, so if it's so racist, she thinks that the country is racist, so they wouldn't accept her natural hair. You're already the first lady of the United States.
The same racist country that paid
elected
3
her,
people
her husband,
to get her ready in the morning.
Right. So racist. So horrible. Oh my gosh. She's always complaining. I just don't understand. It's like she's a professional podcast complainer. I don't get it. Everyone has to do their hair and makeup by themselves. Everyone has to pay for their own food. She thinks that this racist country elected my husband and now I don't get all this free shit. You're just normal. You're just a person. We all put our pants on one leg at a time. We all have to do our hair and makeup by ourselves. And if she didn't want to do it and she didn't have time to do it, then don't do it. Ugh. Anyway, here's Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's been on just a media whip. She's on all these networks. And here she was on CNN again. I had a video of her she was on The View, then she was on CNN yesterday, and now she's on CNN again. And here she is saying that men are to blame for the government shutdown. Listen.
You said something the other day that caught my eye. You said that there's a lot of weak Republican men in Congress.
Mm-hmm.
Who exactly are you referring to?
Many of my colleagues. I campaigned with President Trump and all over the country for years, really, and hardly any of them truly supported President Trump. But when it became clear that he was going to win, they ran out and bought their first MAGA hat and put it on. But I think we're seeing what's happening, and you know, I like Mike Johnson a lot. He's a very nice man. But forcing Congress to stay home when the American people are showing up and working every single day, the list goes on and on and on. I do believe that when you have the responsibility of leadership, you need to take that very seriously. And unfortunately, I'm not seeing that right now.
Now, I agree with her that this shutdown needs to come to an end. Do I believe that it's all the men's fault? No. I think it's people on both sides of the aisle. And it doesn't matter what biological sex you are. I think all of them need to come to the table and figure something out, and fast, right? And I also agree with her that, you know, there are a lot of people in Congress that aren't loyal to President Trump. And maybe that is harder to get things done with them. And I agree with that. But when she attacks men, you have to wonder what the strategy is, because she's seemingly going on all these like media tours and she's getting her name notoriety and she's trying to like move over to CNN and The View and maybe come off as more of a moderate. And there have been rumors that she's going to throw her hat into the ring for 2028. She certainly is not going to win, especially like if Gavin Newsom, let's just say, is the nominee on the Democrat side, we can't put up Marjorie Taylor Greene. There's literally no way. Like, we would have President Newsom. But I think she's wanting to run because she knows that J.D. Vance will be the guy, and then maybe she'll get a vice presidential pick or a cabinet pick, which I think is more likely. And she's going to like try to up her notoriety. I think she's just playing the long game here. But blaming men is not going to help you. Maybe it'll make you more likable amongst Democrat women, but Nikki Haley tried this. When she ran for president, she did the whole, you know, stick your high heel in their, you know, kick them in the pants and girl power. And leaning into the girl power thing is totally cringe. You're not going to win over Republican women. You're not going to win over Republican men. And like, people find that icky. So I just don't think that that's a good strategy, because you're going to piss off people that should have been voters of yours, and you're really not going to pick up anyone on the left or any independents by doing it. Leave the girl power shit to the Democrats. That is their losing strategy. They tried it with Kamala Harris. They tried it with Hillary Clinton. Let's not try to replicate that on our side. All right, let's get into tinfoil hat time. The hat goes on. Okay, so I have a few things here. We covered this last week, this robot named Neo, and it costs $500 a month for the subscription, or $20,000 to own it. And now that I'm reading that, I don't know if it's $20,000 to buy it and then it's $500 a month on top of the $20,000 to like keep it going, because it is run by a human being.
My understanding was that it was either or.
Either or.
Yeah.
Okay, so $500 a month, or you could just throw down $20,000 to own it. And the Wall Street Journal did a piece with Neo, the robot, to test how helpful Neo would be around the house. And spoiler, I'm not going to be dropping 20 grand on this thing anytime soon. Watch this. This is me after leg day at the gym.
Neo, you got it.
Very slowly putting stuff in the dishwasher. This is like someone who's totally inebriated, like paying $20,000 to watch a toddler do your chores for you. Look at him. He can't even get up. There we go. Okay, here we go.
And that took 5 minutes.
Took 5 minutes to close the dishwasher, load it and close it. Someone said that's just like my husband. I did see a lot of comments of people saying, I think he's inspired by my husband. And people also were pointing out that it's like a toddler. It's like asking a toddler to do a chore and they don't want to do it, so they take a long time to do it, or, you know, it just makes you want to, it's like weaponized incompetence. Like, it makes you want to do it instead. So imagine paying $20,000 and then having to do all this stuff. And I mean, I would just be like, get out of my way, Neo. I'll do it. Anyway, I don't think that the robots are taking over the world anytime soon. They're going to need a lot of work. But let's talk about some crafts that were seen in the sky in San Diego. And we've seen similar things to this in the past that I've played on the show, but it's kind of like this glittery stuff in the sky. Watch this.
I'm sitting out here, you guys. That just came, okay? They are coming out of the trees. This is another one. Look at this shit. I just caught on video one popping out of the same area. And then I seen another one pop up.
That is weird.
I am trying to tell you guys, these are light beings that are in these trees. And you are seeing it.
They're all over the sky too. They're like blinking.
You guys, this is not just a light coming through from like the street lights, okay? This is an actual orb in the tree. Oh my God, this is like the second one. And then there was another one.
And that one is popping out.
Like, there's no like making shit up. Like, you guys, look, it keeps going into existence and then back out of existence. Look at that.
It's weird. It is moving. So, someone's saying that those are stars. I don't think they're stars. Someone said they're Chinese lanterns. I don't think they're Chinese lanterns. Tree fairies. It's the tooth fairy. Lots of theories in the chat, which I appreciate. But I don't know what they are. I don't think that they're drones. They don't look like personal drones. Anytime the government comes out and says, like, there are no UFOs, they say, like, these are just personal drones. We all know what personal drones look and sound like. And you would have been able to hear the whirring noise of the drone. You couldn't hear any of that. And I don't know. I just don't believe it. I don't believe that they're drones. I think that they're aliens. But let's talk about other lights seen in Minneapolis last week. These are more in like a circular formation. Multiple aliens? I don't know. Watch this. So they're like, well, I don't know. It looks like the bottom of a UFO. Like, if you've seen an alien movie, this looks like the bottom of the UFO, like lights going all around the saucer and you just can't see the top of the saucer. Like, it's foggy and you can only see the bottom. But because this is in Minneapolis, people in the comments of this video said that it looks like lights from Mystic Lake Casino and that not everything weird in the sky is aliens. But I will say, if you're a believer in aliens and extraterrestrial life, this would be fun to see. I would like to believe it. Yes, we can debunk these things, but it's more fun to believe that this is a massive UFO. Here are some other videos that can be debunked. So this one is in Southern Maryland, and it's this like, I don't know, like S-shaped, spiral-shaped light
Be quiet.
that's moving throughout the air. This one is in Southern Maryland.
Be quiet, be quiet. I don't know. Just be quiet.
It's like a spiral.
Wow. What is it, Mommy? Is it like a store? No, just be quiet.
Weird. So all these other videos, there's one that was seen in Massachusetts. This one looks like the same thing, but just kind of like flipped on its side a little bit. This one's in Massachusetts. There's another one on Long Island. So people all over the East Coast, really, were seeing this.
What the fuck is that?
This one's on Long Island.
You're recording, right? Yeah.
I don't know.
Is that?
Someone in the chat said, always the blue states. Someone also said, my son and I saw it in Arizona. So again, maybe not just the Eastern coast, but all over. So people have seen this all over. And it turns out that it was the Ariane 6, a heavy lift rocket that launched from French Guiana, and it was carrying the Sentinel-1D Earth observation satellite into orbit. When the rocket gets high enough, it releases excess fuel, which freezes due to the altitude, and because the rocket is spinning, so does the stream of fuel, creating a cool effect in the sky. And I learned that from TikTok comment section university, of which I am a PhD holder and president. Therefore, I'm an expert. Trust me, bro. So we have an update on this 3I Atlas comet. We're calling it a comet, but we actually have no idea what it is. And scientists are baffled because this interstellar visitor has mysteriously shrunk as it flew by Earth and it flew by the sun. So this thing, it's been in the sky. Not me, but like we as in scientists. I have nothing to do with it. I've just been covering it on the show. But they have found that this thing in the sky is changing. It's changing colors. It has a tail and then it doesn't. It's got nickel in it. All very strange. And a lot of experts are saying that this is not made in nature. So they think that maybe it has some extraterrestrial aspects to it. Maybe it's aliens. Maybe it was made by some other life force. I don't know. So, of course, because of the government shutdown, the NASA is saying that this is totally normal and it's natural and don't ask about it. And they're also saying that because of the government shutdown, we can't release photos of it. But apparently there were new images of this thing that say that when it got close to the sun, it shrunk a lot in size, like by 13%. And that's interesting. And when it did shed in size by 13%, it got very fast. And now there's no visible tail on the comet. So it's ever changing, and it's going to get its closest, they say, to Earth on December 19th, which is just 6 weeks away. So I guess we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's not going to get too close. But there is an expert at Harvard that was saying that he thinks it's aliens. He thinks it's a alien mothership trying to disguise itself as a space rock for unknown purposes. That is what he is saying. And he said that there are just way too many anomalies with this thing, like one or two he could get away with. But the fact that this thing is ever changing, and it apparently, according to him, has 10 strange anomalies at the same time. He said this was created by a distant intelligence. Interesting. And of course, NASA says nothing to see here. So what do you all think in the chat? What do we think that this is? I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a comet or if it was made by humans or if it was made by some other life force or if it was just this natural phenomenon that we haven't seen before, which is also true. I mean, if things can change, but it is odd that it is changing so much and it's changing so much color and size and speed. It's weird. Someone in the chat says, Project Bluebeam, go. And someone else said, we can guess all day, but if it starts slowing down, we'll know for sure. I think we'll know more. Someone in the chat says, it's your mom. Nice. Yeah, I guess we'll never know. If it's up to the government to let us know, we'll never know. On that note, let's get into scrolling time. Has been doing hilarious parodies of Caroline Leavitt because, as we know, our White House press secretary, she takes no shit. Watch this.
Okay, what?
Is there an update on SNAP benefits?
Why don't you snap your mouth shut, Mr. Receding Hairline? By the way, I'm not in a good mood today. Yes, the woman in the cheap polyester blazer.
Is it true that the president said that mail-in voting would be...
Okay, so I'm going to say this one last time. There are people in California who are mailing in used heroin needles, and those are being counted as votes. My last question.
Caroline,
I'm done after this question. What?
The soybean farmers are...
Oh my God, you guys and these soybean farmers. If you like them so much, why don't you freaking marry them? Are you gay? Are you gay for the soybean farmers? Are you gay for the soybean farmers? Answer me or I'll scream. 3, 2, 1.
Listen, they just hate that she answers all their questions and she doesn't take any of their BS. She has an answer for everything. She comes prepared. And they hate that. They hate that about her. All right, this next comedian did impressions of many politicians reacting to Mamdani's victory, and these are very good. Watch this.
Well, it's official. New York City elected Hamas.
This is
as their
Netanyahu.
leader. He's a horrible anti-Semite, and if anything happens to him, it wasn't me. I am Jewish.
Bernie.
Zoran is not anti-Semitic. He's anti-oligarch. He's telling big government we need more health care, child care, and larger mustard packets at Costco.
That's good.
I fully support Zoran Mamdani, even though I will probably also get his name wrong for the rest of my career. I'm shocked and
Andrew
bamboozled.
Cuomo.
They like Zoran Mamdani more than they like me. I've been told it's because I sound like Elmo from Sesame Street if he was in the mafia. Funny you mentioned the mafia because
Curtis.
I had a run-in in the back of a yellow cab with the mafia a long time ago. I rarely tell this story, by the way. I will be putting a burqa ban on New York City.
Trump.
The Statue of Liberty will not have to wear the... I might also ban oxygen. I'm thinking about it.
Zandami will be imposing
Ted Cruz.
Sharia law on New York City. And you can blame none other than that conniving Tucker Carlson. Or as I like to call him, Cutter Carlson.
I got shot 5 times.
Curtis again at the end. It's so funny because people say, you know, I think I sent you the video on TikTok, Justin, but it was, I don't know, it was like a screenshot of someone playing a video game and just like shooting everyone. And it was like Curtis Lewa on his way to get a bagel every day. Every time he answers a question, he's like, and the Gottis and the Gambinos were out to get me, and I got shot 5 times in the back of a yellow cab, and then I got stabbed, and then whatever. So,
You know what? If the 5 families got together to assassinate me, I'd be telling the story every day of my life as well.
Totally. Milk it, Curtis. You earned it. But someone in the comments of that video said, your Netanyahu being this good has to be anti-Semitic. And honestly, his impressions are so good. Like, he needs to go on SNL immediately because he can play everyone.
Ted Cruz was a little rough, but the rest of them were
Rest of them were good.
Yeah.
They were really,
For
really
sure.
spot on. All right, this girl, she's from the Carolinas, and this is her reaction to election night. Watch this.
I just want to say this. Last night, as a Republican, that was not a loss for me, okay? I didn't expect anything else from a Democratic jurisdiction city like New York City. I expected Mumadabda to win, okay? And it would have been a surprise if Winsome actually won Virginia. But we know that baby Big Ears and Big Teeth was out there campaigning. And you know the liberals loved licking his little black asshole. So that was already a given. You know, then California, yes on Prop 50. And I've kind of felt bad for Californians. I'm like, no, that's my home state. That's why I removed myself from that shitty ass place. Because you like poverty and you like dirty ass places. Liberals love dirty, shitty ass cities. You love it. You love dirty, shitty ass states. That's why y'all love that dirty ass shit. But I will say this to the motherfucking New Yorkers. When those rich motherfuckers leave, don't bring your dirty, crusty ass to the Carolinas. Don't bring your dirty, crusty, broke ass to the Carolinas, bitch. Don't do it.
You have to end on it. I love it. I love her energy. And I agree. Don't come down here with that stuff. All right, this video, this is crazy. I love airplane chaos. I love high-speed chases. I love all this stuff. So this is a video of a high-speed chase going on, and the guy who was filming it, he got a front row seat. Watch this.
Damn. Why there's a high-speed chase right here? Fuck. Oh, shit. They on him. Oh, shit. Yo, they wildin'. Yo, I'm just trying to... Damn, I got work, bro. Oh, they beating on him.
He got up close and personal.
Yo.
Now, the comments were hilarious. Why'd you pull up like you were part of the squad? Play it again and see how fast he was going. You know when like people ride behind the ambulance or they ride behind the cops so that they can speed because obviously the cops are in front of them and, you know, they're just riding their coattails, basically. I mean, he pulled up going 70. So people in the comments were just saying, you pulled up like you were the sheriff. You pulled up like you were the sheriff. Why are you going so fast? You were going 70 like you were an NYPD official. He's quicker than Fox News, someone said. And yes, people were making fun of, like, you said this was a high-speed chase. You're going faster than the cops. You had to, like, slam on your brakes to get behind them. So, hey, he had to go to work. I get it. I'm rolling in here, driving a little quickly to get here on time. I came here, 10 minutes before show started today? You got to do what you got to do. All right. I was going to play this video yesterday, and I forgot. And Andy was like, I'm so mad that you didn't play this video because it was so funny. So anyway, this is AI, and this is a liberal going to talk to some Native Americans. Watch this.
Right, so I totally get that you're all about, hunting and gathering or whatever, but I'm just saying, maybe take a second to reflect on the demographic makeup of this community. I'm seeing a lot of the same vibe here. Same skin tone, same hair. Diversity is strength, okay? Have you thought about opening up the tribe to, more perspectives, maybe some people from other cultures, other continents?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be accepting the blue-haired, septum piercing with the tote bag and the, whatever else. I don't think she belongs, and I don't think that they're opening the doors to other people. I don't think that she's invited. Do you guys have blind reactions?
Oh, yeah.
How many?
Just 3.
All right, 3 videos that I have not seen. We're going to blind react, and then if we have some time, I'll answer some questions from my Instagram.
All right, so this one
and the chat
from the AI videos yesterday about the dress. I have more color theory for you.
Perfect.
And this camera's in my face. Holy crap. Play the video.
Everyone say hello to Justin.
You guys want to see some cool color theory?
Okay, this looks like beige paint. And it's coming out white. Right? Wait, what? What? What?
Isn't that the craziest thing you've ever seen?
The light's hitting the corner differently. That's crazy. That would bother me, I think. I would have to change the lighting in my house. That is wild. I've never seen it be that different. I thought that she was repainting. I thought the walls were beige and she was painting them over white. That's not what we're looking at here.
No, she's painting the corner and it's hitting 2 colors at once.
Oh, I'd have to get new lighting. It would piss me off. All right, hit me with the next one.
All right, so I got a little Halloween-y type videos.
You never know what you're getting into with a kitten. Oh. Oh, spooky kitten. Was that upside down under the bed?
I think it was the headboard, between the headboard and the wall.
Ooh. See, Birdie's too fat for any of this now. She's got a big old stomach. So she can't. She does have the zoomies. She runs around. She runs around a lot, but not like that. She's too fat for.
What's that one? I don't watch horror movies. What's the one horror movie where the grandma skitters across the ceiling on all fours? It's more recent one.
I don't know.
You don't know? That's what that reminded. I think there was a trailer of that happened in it, and that's what that clip reminded me of. The cat skittering right towards the camera.
All right, hit me with the next one.
All right, I'm milking the Halloween. This one's hilarious though.
Halloween is forever.
Amen.
Happy Halloween. My brother put stinky spray in my son and nephew's blow-up costumes, and this was the result. Stinky spray?
What that smell?
That's not nice.
What?
You gotta watch Freddy in the background.
Let me out, they're saying. Oh, oh, oh! He's dropping it low to get out. He'll do anything to get out. He's gonna dance to get out. Uh-oh, he's running away, but he's in the suit. I never thought about those blow-up things. How do you get yourselves out if your hands are also... you can't reach around and get yourself out.
Come here.
Oh, he's running for dear life, and he's stuck. He's running from himself. This is how the protesters in Seattle, in Portland,
pepper spray
Oregon.
right up the frog. Yeah, that's exactly what it reminded me of.
Yeah. I would take a fart over
What that smell?
whatever pepper spray in my inflatable.
For sure.
I
I just love
like-
how Freddie's first instinct was to go twerk.
Yeah. He's like, let me shake this off a little bit. All right, we have a few more minutes, so I'm going to answer some questions from my Instagram story. And of course, if anyone has questions in the chat, we will prioritize questions in the chat. Someone asked me, would you ever dye your hair red? No. Have you ever yelled at Guy and Andy? No, I have never yelled. I have never raised my voice. And Justin, you're off the hook. They never said, so I'll start yelling at Justin now. Someone said, let me see. What is the worst case scenario for New York now that Mamdani won? And someone else asked me, what are your friends and family saying about the state of New York City? Are they biased either way? Well, my family is conservative, and a lot of my friends are conservative as well who live in New York, because some of my friends from high school are conservative. Then a lot of my friends that I met in New York, I worked at Fox News with, I worked at Newsmax with, so they're conservative. And of course, they think that the world is ending, and I can't blame them. I think they're very scared for what they're going to see when it comes to crime. I think that is going to be the thing that people feel first. And it's very scary because the crime isn't good as it is now. And essentially, it's going to get worse because Mamdani's not interested in, they're already uninterested in putting people in jail. They release people to reoffend on the streets constantly. And now Mamdani he doesn't even believe in jail. He doesn't even believe in cops. He wants to defund cops. He wants to replace them with social workers. All of these things are very scary for people who live there. A lot of my friends feel like it's hard to afford to live there. It's hard to afford to raise a family there. It's hard to buy a house. These are very real concerns among young people who live in that area, and I feel for them. Someone asked, have you always been politically conservative? Yes. Let's see. Favorite band? I don't really listen to bands. I listen to artists. I listen to whatever music I want. I listen to pop, hip hop, EDM. Just like depends. Country music. Depends on my vibe. Depends on what I'm doing. What's your handicap? 11.1 currently. Trying to get it down. Trying to play more. So hopefully we'll be better. Were you the prom queen in high school? No, certainly not. I went to an all-girl Catholic high school, so we didn't really do any of that stuff. I did go to prom, but we didn't have like kings to go with the queens, if you know. So no, we didn't have that. What type of jelly do you put on your PB&J? Thankfully, someone's asking the right questions here. I prefer a raspberry preserve or blackberry or blueberry. I am not a grape jelly girl, and I like raspberries. So I would say raspberry first, but I'm not going to reach for the grape. Are you going to see the David movie by Angel Studios next month? You know, I haven't even heard about this movie, and I haven't been to the movies since I moved here, but I would consider it because I like Angel Studios a lot. And let me see. Let's end on a good one.
Absolute nerd in the chat asked your favorite candy.
Ooh, my favorite candy. I like Reese's Pieces. And I hate, this is my pet peeve, when people say Reese's Pieces. Gay. It's so gay. Reese's Pieces, like obviously that's not how it was intended.
Thank you, Miss
Pieces?
Pieces.
So stupid.
And then Diz Paz Ed Hero, asked, what's your favorite cuisine?
Ooh, my favorite cuisine is Italian by far.
Amen.
Chicken parm, penne alla vodka, lasagna, baked ziti. Ugh, I love it all.
You got a top three?
Ooh. Well, chicken parm.
No, cuisine.
Oh.
Chicken parm is the cuisine.
Italian, then I would go Mexican, and then sushi.
Say sushi?
Oh, and then I like going to... Like,
Sushi's not a cuisine.
Okay, Japanese.
Yeah, a good one. Yeah, me too.
Okay.
I got Italian, Mexican, American.
Yeah, because now I realize that in my top 3, I don't have steak.
Yeah.
So
or
that's a
burgers
problem.
or pizza or.
Ugh.
Pizza's not
Italian
American.
goes
Oh,
into
come on. It's
pizza.
basically American. Like.
Pizza goes into it with Italian. No?
Yeah, but like Domino's pizza ain't.
Ew. Domino's pizza's in your top 3?
No, but okay, never mind. Let's.
Come on.
I'm gonna hit you with a camera
Stop
here.
with the
You deserve
camera,
it.
bro. This is not a flattering angle.
Justin's close up. He's ready. Last question here because it's relevant to this weekend. Someone asked me, am I excited for the chili cook-off? And I was invited to be a VIP at the Tequesta Chili Cook-Off. So if you are in the Tequesta, Jupiter area, I will be at the Chili Cook-Off tomorrow. So I'm very excited for that. And again, just a reminder that next week on Monday and Tuesday, you're going to get extra Hayley because you're going to see me filling in for Vince on his show on Rumble and on radio. And then, of course, for Nightly Scroll. So thank you so much for listening. Have a happy Friday evening and have a good weekend. And I'll see you right back here on Monday.